Always appreciate your help. Cavalier's win last night here at home against the Atlanta Hawks, one of your in-season tournament games. So that's a good one for them to win.
Yeah, but they didn't make the knockout round, so they're done in the in-season tournament. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It is.
Well, that's disappointing.
The East teams are the Bucks, the Knicks, the Pacers, and who's the other one? Oh, can't remember the fourth team. But
Thunder?
No, because it's the East.
Oh. Okay.
Pull it up real quick. Because now it's just
Sixers?
No, Sixers didn't make it actually.
So anyway, tomorrow night the Cavs will still be at home before they go on a couple of weeks of road dates. We'll be back on the 16th. At which point we will be off for the remainder of 2023. Trying to squeeze in as many guests as I can until then. Comedian Chad Daniels is going to check back in with us tomorrow. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister is going to be on the show before we're done for the year. Weird Al Yankovic returns to the show.
The Celtics.
The Celtics, okay. Well, Cavs are playing them on December the 12th in Boston. They're playing them 2 nights in a row.
Weird Al.
Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic. They're dropping the Blu-ray of Weird, which is the movie where Harry Potter plays Weird Al Yankovic. A little multiverse action there. If you listen on iHeartRadio on our free digital app, free, sometimes you can hear it, I believe, is the
motto.
Yeah, the log line we've got for that. Brian listens to the show in Sholo, Arizona. Adam listens in Greeley, Colorado. Zach is in Troutman, North Carolina. And Isaiah is one of our bureau chiefs down in Jacksonville. We also have a lot of people. Speaking of Boston, a lot of people in the great state of Massachusetts, they have just become the 5th state in the nation to make prison calls where they don't cost the inmate or anybody. Prison and jail calls will now be free in the state of Massachusetts. I don't know if that's the case here.
It is not.
In Ohio. I'm not surprised by that because
it's too much money.
There is a lot of money. It's a $1 billion telecom business. So I don't know if the companies that get paid are somehow being promised somewhere else they're going to. I don't know what it is, but Massachusetts is the 5th state to do this. It's good policy. Might not be great for the companies. You know, study after study shows that, you know, prisoners that are able to maintain contact with the family and things like that on a regular basis, you know, they're much lower rates of recidivism. And, you know, once they get out, they kind of have a better spot there. And that's one small part of it. But I couldn't help but think, because invariably I will turn everything back to me. If we don't have prison mail anymore, because they digitize that largely in prisons, people hit me up and go, how come you don't do prison mail? I go, because nobody writes letters and mails them anymore. I think they're largely email. Or they are stopped from mail. I don't know what it is. Maybe, listen, if you are one of our listeners in Massachusetts, maybe you have a friend or family member in prison. Have them call the show. Why not transfer prison mail to prison calls? Why not? Take a couple of minutes. I'd love to talk to somebody about what's going on with them. Especially if those calls are free now. Won't cost you one thin guilder. Although before, wouldn't people just collect calls? I mean, if you're calling from prison.
Dial down the center.
1-800-10-10-32. What was it?
No, 1-800-COLLECT.
Oh, dial down the center, yeah.
Yeah, whenever it was all right down the middle of the letters. Which, dude, there's a whole generation who
I was just going to say, that's a payphone reference.
That's a
which a lot of people
payphone reference,
I have no idea. I remember Carrot Top doing 10-10-3-2-1 or whatever it was.
Was it dial down the middle?
It was 1-800-CALL-ATT, and then there was like 1-800-COLLECT.
Yeah.
1-800-COLLECT was dial down the middle.
Yeah.
Or dial down the center.
Yeah, so they wouldn't understand that because you have to visualize the keypad on a phone. And also like rates at different times of the, isn't that largely gone too? Like
yeah,
call
like
after 10
weekend-
o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
minute. Well, that's
Nights
when
and weekends was a big.
everyone was on minutes.
Yeah.
You had to buy minutes for your phone, but minutes were free
But
after 8
even-
p.m. or whatever.
But before even that, you had a long distance calling plan. And that was if you were calling outside of your area code, they would charge you more.
Yes.
And so then, and this is for like a landline. So if you would make a call to, like when my brother was in college, we called Utah, we'd call after 9 o'clock because then it was only 6 or like 7 o'clock there.
Was it like a Mormon
And it was
party
free.
line?
I mean, it was just where he was.
Oh,
It
he
a
was there.
He was there.
You weren't just randomly calling Utah.
No,
Just
no.
to hang out.
Just, yeah.
Hey, what's the area code to Provo? I need to get on the phone.
See, I had.
That's why you always got, if you're of a certain age, that's why you always got screamed at by your parents for being on the phone at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Get out the goddamn phone.
My first cell phone plan was with what is now Verizon, but it was North Coast Cellular. And my dad got me a plan that only worked in 216-440-330 area codes.
Sure.
So if my phone went outside of those
that
area
was
codes,
like
it didn't work.
Well, that was a local
Yeah, it was
company.
A, yeah, it was a
Original
local
carrier.
company.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're 14 years old. You don't have to go anywhere. You're never going to be out of these zones. And if you are, you better be with a parent.
Right.
So, like, you can go to Akron, you can go to Cleveland, you can be in Berea, and that's like those couple suburbs in between, and that's it. You can go anywhere else.
Well, I mean, that was what they said, but how big of a legitimate concern was it of yours at 14 that you were going to find yourself in an area where your phone wasn't going to work?
It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't at all.
But they're
You were
not
out
for Mary.
doing
but there's
shenanigans.
Definitely people, like I know people that when they were 14, 15 years old, they were doing a lot of
Yeah.
wild stuff. Like I just saw a girl post a meme today where it's like, like a picture of I don't know what the picture was, but it's basically saying like me in a 30-year-old dude's basement when I was 15,
Yeah.
35 miles from my home.
A 30-year-old dude's basement.
And they just go and do like all sorts of wild stuff.
Steven Tyler. Guy got around.
Son of a bitch.
Piece of crap.
Take that, you piece of crap.
Eat that, you piece of crap.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so dial down the middle and that. But anyway, Massachusetts, I don't know what the other 4 states are where prisoner calls are free, but Massachusetts has been added to that list. I know we have a lot of people who listen there. Before I get out of jail here, though, I do want to mention a guy who got into some trouble. And God, where was this? Oh, Indiana. This is outside Indianapolis. A guy named Christopher Boyd is a 32-year-old guy. And he's riding shotgun in a car that had been pulled over about 2 in the morning because the license plate was covered up. And sorry, this is Evansville, Indiana. And they patted the dude down, and they found a small bag with multiple pills in his sock. He said he got him from his aunt. And he said that he used the painkiller because he had a bullet lodged in his spine.
Oh.
So anyway, so they go to put the guy in the squad car. And he says that he can't spread his legs very far because of his spine injury. And so when they're patting him down, they're searching his groin area. The officer noted that the guy tensed up. And they asked him if he had anything stuffed in his groin or his ass. He said that he did not. Well, by the time he gets to county, he's walking with a limp and appears to be clenching. You know when you're doing the poop walk?
Yeah.
This is a perp walk, but when you do
walk.
when you do a poop walk, yeah, and you're clenching because you're trying to, you're touching cloth. You got a turtle head poking out. And they thought maybe that's what was going on with this guy. He was walking with a limp. And then he was placed through a body scanner. And they found that he had 2 plastic bags full of pot next to his scrotum. And they figured, well, that's it. We've figured it out. But that was not all. He also had a Smith & Wesson in his ass.
What's that?
A gun.
380.
What?
It's about 12 ounces and 5 inches long.
Bro, that's brave. I need to get this guy's number.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. That is something you do not want getting around D Block. Because everybody's going to go, well, if a gun can fit in there, I certainly can.
I was going to say.
He can take a Glock.
I don't have to finish it.
That's a good. I'm gonna clap that one. I enjoyed that.
Cody Poundcake Brown, everybody. That's right. Getting Glock blocked there in.
Sure can't take a Glock.
Yeah, so they put him through the scanner, and they were like, but think of the guy who's got to pull that out, because you're not just going to pass it.
Better make sure the safety's on, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm serious. That's
Well, they didn't think it was loaded, or they didn't indicate whether it was loaded, I guess. But
there's one in the chamber.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So again, it's not a,
So
it's
you'd
not a
say he's-
giant. It's considered a micro pistol, but that's still up there.
yeah, dude.
When they say, "Hey, this is for concealed carry," that's not what they're talking about.
And if
It
it's
doesn't
not,
have to be that concealed.
if it's not loaded, does that mean he's shooting blanks? Every little. Give it to me. I need it.
What?
Thanks, Cody.
You're welcome.
He
Oh,
gave
you
me a
shoot-
golf clap with 2 fingers.
Well, that's what he's feeling like doing. He's not going to give you more than he got.
All right,
That's a lot.
that's
Is that
too
enough?
much.
Is that
it's too
enough?
much. It's too much. Now
You
it's,
tell me.
now it's
Is that-
patronizing. Now it's patronizing. and I
No, I
don't
want you-
appreciate it.
I just want you to know that women are funny.
Okay. All right. Stop.
Is it too much?
It was too
Oh,
much.
come on.
That hurt. That hurt more than
I
not
wanted you to
laughing.
get more than Cody because he was, he's kind of limply giving it up for you. So anyway, yeah, so they pulled it right out of there, and he'd been classified. He's already on the books as a serious violent felon and a domestic batterer, which, of course, in most states means you can't have a gun. So they put him in there and, did whatever they're going to do. But, man, Poundcake's right. You don't want anybody finding that out. They're like, hey, I can, maybe I can. Oh, I don't want to stick to the guys. I got some vagina news. You want, will vagina news make
perfect.
you feel better?
Yeah.
If I've got some of that? Sorry, vagina news.
My vagina.
Yeah. Boy, this is bad news for you gals who were counting on that shipment of vaginal tightening gel
Oh no.
to make it into your mailbox sometime soon because they have confiscated a huge shipment at the port of Minneapolis. Twin Cities have seized thousands of syringes of unapproved vaginal tightening gel that came over from Hong Kong. Now, you ladies know, I can't mansplain it to you. I have to assume you know. You only want approved vaginal tightening gel, right?
But like,
If you're going to DIY your flaps, you got to make sure that it's from a reputable vaginal tightening gel manufacturer.
syringes with needles?
Syringes in pink packaging with brownish gel inside. Yeah.
I wonder what it
Come over
was.
from
I
Hong
don't know
Kong.
if it's a needle. I think it might be more like a turkey baster
Yeah.
to put the gel up in there so you can.
Yeah, it's probably like a flavor injector.
Yeah.
Ugh. Maybe it's filled with gravy. That's the brown.
Get that.
What could that
Like when
even
you add
be?
starch to gravy to thicken it up.
A roux?
Well, what were we talking about like a couple years ago, though? Girls were putting all kinds of things up. They're putting candy up there, and they're putting soap, and, So you gals, you seem to be very willy-nilly about what you're willing to put up there, especially since for a lot of you, you won't even put a guy up there. So you're putting all kinds of other food stuff.
Or a Glock.
Or a Glock.
There's like when you look up symptoms for, like a yeast infection or something, and there's like big announcements from medical industry that are like, do not put yogurt inside yourself. Like,
Right, that's what you're
cloves
talking,
of
yogurt,
garlic,
right.
Cloves
Yes.
of garlic
That's what
inside
it
of you
was.
is not just come get an antibiotic.
TikTok told me I can fix my pH.
You're
Right.
not an Instapot.
Right.
No.
Do not
Stop putting whatever it is you think is going to help and go to a doctor.
Yeah.
Which I never understood that.
Hey,
Was
dial that
something-
back. She's going to blow.
Something so sensitive where you're just like, yeah, Hong Kong. Let's random stuff. It's only $6. What could go wrong,
I like the statement, though, from the field operations officer. A dangerous shipment is another example of someone using unregulated gels to prey on consumers with false promises. Not knowing what you're inserting in your body can be deadly. Remember that, Cody.
I'm aware.
Okay, thank you. So, boy, if any of you gals, because these days, they don't tell you where anything's, like if you're on Amazon, who has, by the way, just surpassed FedEx and UPS as the largest carrier in this country. So most things now are coming from Amazon. They don't tell you where anything comes from anymore. This is what's leading to a lot of user experience drops on Amazon. People are like, I ordered this thing. It looked legit. Took 2 weeks to get here by boat, and it's covered in, Mandarin because they don't tell you where it's coming from. So there are probably a lot of women who might have ordered some vaginal tightening gel, not knowing the country of origin or knowing if it was legit.
There's a lot of different.
I mean, what are your top vaginal tightening gel companies? I don't know.
Oh my God, this one's called Like a Virgin.
Like a virgin.
It's sold by Adam and Eve, which is like a legit.
Well, what is it? Just lemon juice?
I don't know.
Makes you
That's what
pucker?
I'm trying to find out.
But again,
That
ladies,
sour face.
it's
Give me Blue
fine.
Steel.
Yeah. You don't want bitter beer face down there.
Desensitizing gel, sensitizing gel.
That's for dudes, the desensitizing.
No, they have it for women.
Really?
For one specific part of you.
Women who want to be desensitized. That's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel anything when my husband climbs on top. Oh, no.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I want to see over 10,000 sold. Tight AF.
But ladies,
What it's called?
Not called Titef?
is it
Okay, wait.
TITE?
TIGHA. Glycerin, PEG, PEG 32, PEG 8,
Yeah.
aloe vera, methylparaben,
Yeah.
potassium alum, DMDM hydrotoin, sodium citrate.
These are all different kinds, or these are all ingredients?
That's the ingredients
Oh, okay.
in this thing.
Ladies, don't worry about it so much.
Oh, only 3.5 stars.
It's.
Do you want to hear some
Oh,
reviews?
I want a 5-star vaginal tightening
Hold on,
gel.
let's see. There's 11 one-star reviews. Didn't notice a difference. I've used several products and don't feel a difference.
I use several
No
products,
effect.
yeah.
No difference. No difference. Yeah.
But what are you trying to do?
duh,
Like,
though.
I get in theory what you're going for, but in practice, no one's going to be able to tell. Unless you look like somebody's renovating a fireplace down there, nobody's going to know. You're just creating problems for yourself.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Don't worry about it, ladies. Yes.
Is the husband stick still a thing?
I think that's urban legend.
I've never even heard of that.
No, it's urban legend. If you say that to an attending physician after you've had a baby, they look at you and they roll their eyes. They're like, yeah. Everybody makes that joke.
Probably more expensive. I'm sure you could probably ask for it. If you pay for it, they'll do whatever you want.
There are things that I don't know. Not a guy who was asking for a courtesy stitch
Not
after my
you,
wife had it.
But like if the girl wants, if there's like a tear, she's
What do
like,
you mean if the woman asks?
Yeah.
Well, because the joke is the husband asks. The guy goes, hey, you can put one in for me, will you? And they're like, yeah, ha, ha, ha.
No, I'm talking about
I hear that 4,000 times a day.
if the woman asks, she's like, listen, I'm going to have another one soon. I don't want to be all, ripped apart.
But if you're going to have another one soon, again, it depends. I don't know. Some women get ripped tip to taint. So,
Yeah.
You were a big baby.
I was, but I was a C-section. I was an emergency
Oh, that's
C-section.
right.
You think a 13-pound baby's coming out naturally?
I don't know.
My mom had, well, they are not. I ruined the rest of it for her.
I was like, you're not the only 13-pound baby in the world. I'm sure there has been a 13-pound baby.
Not
born naturally.
delivered. No way. Do you know how big a 13-pound infant
There's
is?
7 billion people in the world.
It
You mean
ain't
tell me
coming
something
out
would
like
be-
a...
Yes.
Passing a watermelon is a figure of speech, not literal. It's bad
Let's
enough under
see.
normal circumstances.
In 1879, a woman gave birth to a 23-pound, 12-ounce
That's what I'm talking about.
baby.
That's when they didn't
That's
know how
a
numbers
Guinness
worked.
Book of World
They
Record.
didn't know how numbers worked then.
That's what this says, according to ABC News.
1863.
Yeah, might be right.
1879.
That
That's what I'm
person went
saying.
on to be Thomas Edison.
Can you
there's
deliver
your
a
vagina
12-pound
news.
baby? It says that usually any babies that weigh more than 10 pounds are going to be delivered via C-section because
Yeah.
there's too many risks and complications.
Yeah. And so every subsequent baby had to be born that way too for my mom. My mom had 4 C-sections. She looked like an accordion when she was done
Yeah.
having kids.
Ugh.
I got to take a break here. If you want to send me a text, 35192, and we'll be back.